Hello everyone and welcome to Education Plus. In today's video, we will be discussing what is a lesson plan. It's also called a learning design, and also we will be discussing how we make a lesson plan, how we make a learning design. So lesson plan forms a very integral part of school internship in third semester B.Ed program. So let's get started in understanding what it is. I have tried to make it as simple as possible, the way in which I'm going to explain to you all what a lesson plan is and how we can make it. First of all, let's see what is the definition of a lesson plan. So once again, I'm telling you that it's called a lesson plan, also a learning design. So for now, I'll stick to the word lesson plan. A lesson plan is a roadmap teachers create to structure daily activity in their classrooms. It outlines what students will learn during each class period, how the lesson will be taught, and how student progress will be measured. So while we are in our school internship, we'll be teaching in one of the allotted schools in different classes. So whenever we go to teach a particular period, lesson plan is nothing but our plan for that particular period that we represent theoretically in a paper. So what we are going to teach, how we are going to teach, what are our objectives for that period, what all do we want the students to know. All these details are actually written in a specific format, and that becomes our lesson plan. Lesson plan will be assessed by the examiner, and later when we become teachers in school, that time also we have to make lesson plan, and in that case the lesson plan will be assessed by the head of the institute. So for now, we are going to understand lesson plan from the perspective of B.Ed students first of all. So first of all, when you make a lesson plan, you need to write the heading, and that will be of course lesson plan. Then next we need to write the subheading. Now what subheading will include is, first of all, where we are doing the school internship, in which school. So that school name should be there, first subheading. Then comes the class to which you are teaching, class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whichever. So then you need to mention class as subheading, and then you have duration. This duration is duration of the class hour or duration of the class period. Next we have date. This lesson plan is made for this particular date. So that's the date that you need to enter here. So suppose I'm teaching a particular topic on 1st of March, then my date will be 1st March here. Then the topic. Suppose you are a maths teacher and you are teaching trigonometry, then trigonometry will be written here in the topic. Suppose you are a biology teacher and you are teaching the topic respiration, then the topic will be respiration here. So it's pretty simple here. So first you'll write lesson plan as the heading, then subheadings will be school name, class to which you are teaching, duration of the class period, date in which the lecture is given, and then the topic that you are planning to teach. Next is the most important part that we need to write, and that is the main elements of the lesson plan. Now let's see what are the main elements. First of all, it is previous knowledge. Now why this becomes very important and crucial part is because whenever we are going to teach a particular concept to a student, to students in a classroom, or whatever topic we are going to teach, every topics will be such that it will require some prerequisites. That means, for example, suppose you are a maths teacher. I'm again giving the example of maths because I myself am a teacher in mathematics. So suppose you are a maths teacher and you are going to teach students about height and distance. Then when you teach height and distance to students, you need to be assured that the students are already familiar with trigonometry. One more example is, suppose you are going to teach students about simple interest or compound interest, then you need to be very assured that the students are very familiar with basic arithmetic operations like addition, division, etc. Right, so this is the previous knowledge that students need to know. Also, example from another subject would be, suppose you are a teacher in history and you are going to teach the students about the Second World War. Then before you teach about Second World War, it is important that the students need to know about the First World War. Okay, so that becomes your previous knowledge that you need to mention here. So basically, coming down to lesson plan once again, when you are making a lesson plan on a particular topic that you're going to teach, previous knowledge part will include what you expect the students to be knowing before you teach that topic. Okay. Then comes the objective. When you enter a classroom, you will be entering with an objective of teaching a particular lesson, right? So those objectives you need to explain in categories. And these are the 4 categories: knowledge, understanding, application, and skills. What is the knowledge that you need to impart, or what is the knowledge that you are going to impart to students in one particular class period that you have planned for? Second is understanding. What is the understanding that you are going to impart to students? After you finish the lecture in that particular class period, what do you expect the students to understand? That will come under this understanding part. Okay. Next is application. So once you have finished teaching a particular topic, where will the students be able to apply what you have learned? Okay. The next is, what are the skills that your students have developed while you were teaching that particular topic? So this will be your objectives. Now, all the objectives will be written in future tense, okay? Because you are writing this before you have actually taught it. So this is what you expect the students to know or understand or apply or develop the skills in when you teach or when you finish teaching a particular concept. Okay, so this will be written in future tense because what you are going to write is going to be your theoretical lesson plan before you actually teach. Okay, so next we have explanation. In explanation, what we need to write is very brief sentences that will explain what is the topic for today's class. So for example, suppose I am teaching trigonometry again, okay, for example, then in explanation section, what I need to write is whatever topic that I want to cover for that particular class. Okay, so you'll be explaining trigonometry in the most basic way, 1 or 2 sentences at most. Then you have TLM. So TLM forms another very important part in school internships when you go. Okay, TLM or teaching learning material means what are you going to supplement your presentation with. It can be chart papers, okay, and it can be paper cuts that will help you explain a particular topic. Now next is recapitulation. Now recapitulation is also very important because once you have finished a class, you are not going to directly jump to the next topic in the next class. Before you totally wind up the topic that you are teaching or you're going to teach, the ending is advisable to be such a part where you ask questions to students, right? So suppose I'm teaching any particular topic, towards the end of the class, it is advised that you ask students question. You need to know whether they have understood or not. Then you need to give them exercises, homeworks. So that will come in this section of recapitulation. Now next what we have here, it's quite optional, and those are remarks and signature of examiner. Since you are teaching at the same time, you are being examined by an examiner, right? So in your lesson plan, you can leave a small portion where the examiner can identify as the part for doing his signature, or you can leave a small portion where you can let the examiner write the remarks for your performance as a teacher. Okay, so these are the elements of lesson plan. Previous knowledge, objective, instructional objectives categorized as knowledge, understanding, application, and skills, then explanation of the topic, then TLM used, then recapitulation, and in the end, the examiner is going to do the signature. So now I will be giving you examples of lesson plans, okay? First of all, the types of paper in which lesson plans are usually made during school internship that we have to do in 3rd semester of B.Ed. They are A4 size paper, which we normally use for our projects, etc. So that will be the one in the right hand side. Okay, so this is your A4 size paper, which we commonly use. And the other type of paper that you may be told to use for making a lesson plan is legal size paper, this left one. For example, in my case, when I was doing my B.Ed and I had to make lesson plans, I had to use this first type of paper, which is legal size paper. Okay, so either you'll have to do it in A4 size paper or in legal size paper. Now the way you can make lesson plan in each of these type of paper, I'll be explaining you next by giving example. So here you can see this is a legal size paper, okay, this particular one. And in this, as I told you initially, first you write the heading, lesson plan, and here I've left a gap. Here you need to write the lesson plan number. So suppose this is your first lesson plan, then 1 or 2, 3, etc. Here you write the school name. These are the subheadings. This is the heading, these are the subheadings. School name, class, duration, date, and then the topic that you're going to teach. Okay, so since you have done the heading and the subheading, next thing that you move for is the elements that are very important in lesson plan. Here you are going to write the previous knowledge that you expect the students to know. So it will start as, it is expected that the students are well familiar with the concepts of, and then it will be as per your subject. Then here you have instructional objective. Here first it will be knowledge. What is the knowledge that you aim to impart? Understanding, what do you expect the students to understand by the end of the class? Then you have application, where you expect the students to apply the concepts that they studied today. And then the skills, which means what are the skills that you expect the students to develop by the end of your class. Now these 4 subtopics are taken from here, which I have already explained. Knowledge, understanding, application, and skills. The next you have, it's TLM. So here you'll have chart paper and whatever additional supplements that you are using to explain your concept in the classroom. So for TLM you can make a very narrow column here because you'll have very less content to write here. It'll just be mention of whatever you're using. Then explanation, you are going to write the topic that you are going to cover, a brief introduction or a brief explanation of it. Like suppose I'm going to teach trigonometry, then I will be writing what trigonometry is, okay, in 1 or 2 sentences, okay, and I will be basically explaining the topic that I'm going to teach here in as less number of sentences that I can. Okay, it should not be your full explanation given out here. It should be very brief here. Then next we have recapitulation. Here you can make subheadings of the questions that can be asked, okay, and then the homeworks that you have given, okay, and the questions that students found difficult. Everything you can mention here. That is, after you finish teaching a particular topic, whatever was there to wind up the topic, means the homeworks or the questions that you ask or the questions they answered, the questions they couldn't answer, and that if there is any topic that they could not answer, then you can utilize other class to make them understand. If everything is clear, then you move to the next topic and then you present the next lesson plan, and that's how lesson plans work. Okay, so this is how you make a lesson plan, and this is how a lesson plan looks when you make it in a legal size paper, horizontal format. Okay, so you have a heading, subheading, and then the elements required. Yeah, now it is not going to fit in one particular page. Okay, in that case, if you have to make a second page, you are going to continue this table by keeping the same number of columns and then just continue writing in the next page. Okay, so that is how a lesson plan looks like in a legal size paper. Now let's see how it looks in A4 size paper. So have a look at this one first. First you write the heading this way, and then you have the subheading, school name, class, duration, date, topic, TLM. Okay, here you write it and mention it this way, and here you'll fill the blanks as per your information. Then one way you can write the lesson plan is, next you write the previous knowledge required, instructional objective, etc. normally like you write any notes. And preferred way of writing in A4 sheet would be this way. First you write a lesson plan, then you write your subheadings, then you make a table this way, previous knowledge, and then you'll write whatever information out here. Then instructional objective, here you'll make a subheading, knowledge, then understanding, application, skills, okay, and then you fill the blanks here as per the information that you have depending on your subject. So this is how you make a lesson plan. This is the format of lesson plan that you can follow. If you are told to make in a A4 sheet paper, then you can follow this particular pattern. In my case, I had to make in a legal size paper, and this was the exact format that I followed. So these are the two ways in which you can make lesson plan. Actually, it's just one way, but it depends on the paper in which you are told to make the lesson plan. And then after this, what you have to do is either you'll have to spiral bind it or book bind it, and then you submit it for final review. So this is in total what a lesson plan looks like for your B.Ed. This one and this one. Okay, it'll be a very important part of your school internship, third semester. Now, this is lesson plan while you are a B.Ed student. Now, I would like to give you example of a lesson plan that we have to make when you start working as a teacher. For example, I was working as a teacher of mathematics and chemistry, and while I was a teacher, I had to make lesson plan and submit to the head of the institute, and in that case, it looked like this. So it was 2021 when I was teacher, and these were the classes I used to teach. These were the subjects I used to teach: maths, chemistry. And these were the topic, classwork, homework, method of teaching, aim, objective, evaluation. Here the head of the institute would be filling this, and then online or offline mode. So it was during the pandemic and everything used to be online. So this is the lesson plan format as per the institute in which I taught. But as per the B.Ed program that you are doing, this is the format that you will be following for lesson plan. First the title, then subheading, and then the elements that are required. Okay, and the same thing here for A4 sheet paper. Yeah, this slide that I nearly missed is example of a TLM, where you have to represent what you are teaching in a chart paper. So this was one chart paper that I took, and I was teaching the topic cuboid. It was a part of mensuration. So here I write the topic. It should be clearly visible because chart paper will be kept in one corner of the room, and it's better if students can read it from far itself. So that will be the best TLM that you can make. So I write the topic, a brief explanation of it, whatever formulas were required, the diagram required, and the rest will be what I explain in the board. So this is one example of TLM. Now, since I was a math student, I'm giving you the example from mathematics. As per your subject, you can follow the same pattern. Like here, if you are from biology or history, you can write your topic and then whatever are the most important parts that you need to write. For example, if you are a student of history, then you may have to write about the important dates here. Okay, you need not write what happened throughout the year, but you can briefly mention what happened in which year as per your topic. Okay, so that's how you make a TLM. So basically, summing it up, in today's video we learned about lesson plan for third semester B.Ed program. Okay, so a lesson plan will have different categories that you need to mention, like previous knowledge and instructional objective, and we have explanation, and then we have recapitulation, and then the TLMs that we need to present. So this was all that you need to make for lesson plan, and if any doubts are there, you can let me know in the comment section. Thank you.